Hey guys, Matt here from iTech224 with my What's on my Nexus 4 video. This isn't my primary device, but I do carry it around with me every day and I do use it every single day, so I set it up to fit my situation best. When you first turn it on, you'll see I'm using Widget Locker. Now the primary reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted a separate background on my lock screen and home screen. Now the clock I'm using throughout the device is called Dashclock, and this is basically a stock Jelly Bean clock with a few different options like notifications for your different apps and weather. Opening up the phone, you'll see it's very simple and pretty easily laid out. My basic philosophy for this whole design is wanting to have every single thing I would possibly use on one home screen. For all my tweaks, I'm using Nova Launcher. This is how I rearranged my grid for my icons, took away the dock, and a few other things. If you want to access your app drawer, you could still do that by hitting the home button and all your apps appear. I figure only having one button instead of two makes it a little bit easier and faster. Moving up to the top, you'll see, like I said, I'm using Dashclock. And the notifications are Weather, Falcon Pro, and Gmail. Right below Dashclock, I have a widget called Eye in the Sky. In this particular widget, it shows the forecast for the upcoming week. Now I've thought about every single aspect of this design, so as to not be redundant, I have the current weather in Dashclock and the forecast using Eye in the Sky. Below that is where all my apps are. I tried to lay them out in categories, but of course some of the apps don't really fit into them, but for the most part they're laid out with other apps like it. My first row is for social stuff, so I have Falcon Pro for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit News, and Google+. The next row doesn't really have a category, but I have Evernote, Dropbox, Google Maps, Pulse, which I use for news, and The Verge. Same thing with the next row, doesn't really have a category, but here I have a folder which actually contains my gallery, Snapseed, and Photoshop Touch. Then next to that I have Feedly, SoundHound, an app for my bank, and the Play Store. Underneath that is where I have all my music and audio apps. So I have the stock Google Play Music, then I have Pocket Cast, which I use for podcasts, then I have SoundCloud, Pandora, and TuneIn Radio. Below that is where I have all my stock Google and basic phone apps. So I have the camera, Chrome, which is my browser, YouTube, Gmail, and the phone. Those are basically all the apps I have on my phone, and really they're the only ones I use. Now the theme that I'm using is called Minimal MIUI Go Apex theme. You can get this in the Play Store and activate it using Nova Launcher. I really love the clean, flat design of the apps, and I like that it actually works with all the apps, even if they don't have a custom icon. Moving below the apps, I have a widget called Power Toggles. You can set it to do a lot of phone functions, but what I have is my play, pause, and fast forward and rewind for the music app. I don't really listen to music all that often on the Nexus 4, but when I do, I like that I have the easy access of just hitting play right on my home screen. Now one of my favorite widgets on Android is called Battery Widget Reborn, and it didn't really fit with my layout. But luckily you can have the icon show up in your notification bar, so I just have it up there in the top left hand corner and it gives me all the information I need. Now the background I'm using is actually a custom wallpaper that I designed specifically for this design. So that line you see in between the widgets and the apps is actually part of the wallpaper. If you want the wallpaper I'm using on my lock screen, that'll be in the description below. Now the last thing I want to talk about is that on the off chance that I'm actually going to use this as a phone, of course I'm going to want to be able to text my friends. So using Nova Launcher, I actually set it so that when I swipe up, it brings up the Messages app. Anyways, that's what's on my Nexus 4. If you have any questions about my setup, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them the best I can. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more content like this. That would be awesome. Like I said, I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.